Here we go. All right.
Nice.
So
Nice.
you can tell we're not super professionals yet, but we're getting there. Thank you everyone for joining us
Getting there.
tonight for this impromptu show. It is a spur of the moment impromptu show, but you know what? That's the way we rock. We rock very spur of the
That's
moment. We rock very impromptu, and I was in the mood. Not only that, Swanee. Not only that, I want to introduce you to my lovely co-host, Swanee T. Swanee T is
yeah.
in the house, and we have a special guest tonight. Our special guest is my son, Christopher Bradford, and it's a very special day for Christopher because today is his birthday.
Yeah.
Happy birthday.
Now I can
So
say I've been
Wow.
alive for 2 decades.
2 decades. And you know what? I wanted to bring him on the show tonight because many years before he was born, I remember my cousin, my cousin Daphne, who is in Alabama right now, and I think that she's several years older than me. But I remember her telling my grandmother, and Swanee and Christopher know this already, that my grandmother practically took a heavy hand in raising me, who was born in 1910. So again, I was raised by someone who was born in 1910. Shout out to Annie Bell
Wow.
Hardy. And Annie Bell Hardy raised my cousin. She raised me and my sister and etc. And I remember when my cousin Daphne turned 20. And this was a long time ago. This was 30 years ago. But I remember her telling my grandmother we were in her house in Alabama, and she said, "Grandma, I have scored. I've scored." And if you don't know what score means, a score, SCORE, is 20 years.
Oh, really?
A
Damn.
score is 20 years. Is maybe I think that's a biblical word.
Yeah.
But a score is 20 years. So Christopher, you scored.
Yeah, 4 scores and 7 years ago.
There you go. There you go. You scored. Today is your score. So it seemed like it was just only yesterday, but congratulations to you, and I'm glad to have you on board to help celebrate your birthday.
Yeah.
So we may or may not have some special guests to jump in, give you a shout out, but I just want to let you know that it's a very special day. Not and a lot of young adults these days, especially in 2024, have not made it to 20. So you've done some
Yeah.
good things in your life to get to this point. So let me ask you, and maybe somebody want to jump in at some point. How do you feel about your birthday today?
Feels like a regular old Friday. Just happens to be special.
Yeah.
All right.
And I have no
Okay.
work for the weekend, and I have no work today. So obviously, feels good. And I have no homework.
Yeah.
It's the final week of for final week of like not high school, but community
Yeah.
college.
No, no,
Well,
I know you mentioned. I'm sorry, Wes, one.
no, I just want to ask a question, because I know that in America, 21 is when you turn like an adult, like officially. Is that it?
Basically. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, that is correct. That is correct. But actually, it's actually 18 that you become an adult. So Christopher has actually been very accountable as an adult, for a couple of years now. But the 20-year-old milestone in the U.S., believe it or not, is special for me. It's special for Christopher, and it's special for everyone that's around him. But on a legal act, from a legal perspective, it's not until you're 21.
Yeah.
Oh, got it.
You
So what do you
cannot
hope
go
for?
anywhere and do anything until you're 21. And when I say that is, you can go and serve your country, and you can go to many countries, Israel. He can even go
Hmm.
to Mexico. He can go anywhere else in the world and be treated as an
Right.
adult, meaning that he can partake in alcoholic beverages and so forth. But
That's
in
right.
this country, he cannot. At least
Yeah.
21.
Okay. Wow.
So you have one more year before you can really be considered
Yeah.
official adult.
Yeah.
But I do have one bit of hope, and that one bit of hope is if you are a military member, which I was, you're not, but if you're on a military installation, you can buy beer if you're 18 on a military installation. And that was my very first opportunity to enjoy beer on a
Mm.
military base when I was 18 back in the late 80s. So Christian, if you join the military, you might be able to have beer on a military installation at your age right now. Or you can just wait a year and just
Yeah.
do it and do the whole shebang.
You could
Right.
also the military. You can have cigarettes at 18 now. You don't have to be in
Really.
installation.
But I would hope that you would
Tobacco
not be
products.
partaking in cigarettes and
Yeah.
so forth.
So
So
Chris, what are you hoping for this year? Like any things that you want to achieve? Any goals that you set for yourself?
Yes, I really want to. I'm kind of leaning towards the outdoors, like wilderness aspect of my life right now.
Yeah.
It's quiet, nice and quiet and
Yeah.
cold. So I'm hoping throughout this year I can climb Mount Wilson. It's
Wow.
a 10-hour hike, 10-hour hike, 7 hours, and I want to do that one day this
Wow.
year.
Not such a small thing. I
Yeah.
mean, I remember when I came last time. You were climbing already. Was it next to the top of Hollywood? You know the sign or
Oh
something?
yeah.
There was. Yeah.
That
You
one was
did
scary.
that.
That one was scary. I cannot see the floor below me.
you,
Wow.
you have a good memory, and uh, Swanee, you and I actually went to Mount Baldy
We
a
did.
year ago, and that was around the time that we lost one of our great actors, Jillian Sands, during that time. But we were actually up
Right.
there during that time. Christopher, have you ever been up? You've been to Mount Baldy a
Yeah.
couple times, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, just being here in California, we have our mountains, we have our beaches, we have our deserts. I'm a desert guy myself, as a
Yeah.
man.
Palm Springs, baby.
So okay, so then let's talk about that. So before your brother hasn't checked in yet, but my understanding is I am old, okay, and you and your brother are trying to get my old behind out to the desert tomorrow to go and do some desert activities in some very hot temperatures. Why are you putting me through? Why are you guys putting me through this? I'm too old for this.
You're not too
It's
old.
fun.
You're
It's
not
fun.
60
I'm
yet.
a lot of fun.
You're not 57 yet.
I'm too old for this. I'm a desert guy. I love the desert, and I sent you a text earlier. Okay, let's tell our audience the story.
Yeah.
You were probably 3 or 4 years old, maybe three, and you lost something very special to you.
I know.
And it was in Palm Springs. So tell our audience the story of what you lost, if you can remember that, and that you still recollect almost 20 years later.
So what I remember is that I was in a pool and I had a Megatron. Then I dropped my Megatron in the pool. Then
Oh wow.
that's the only thing I don't remember. That's the only thing I do remember, but I don't remember going to a Pizza Hut
Okay,
and losing my Megatron.
I'm gonna put you on pause. I'm gonna bring your brother in right now.
All right.
There he is. Everyone,
Nice.
we are currently live streaming, and I've got two special guests in tonight on our live stream. We have Christopher Bradford, whose birthday is today. We have his big brother that's just checked in with us. I've got Swanee T on the line, who's my co-host, and we are having a great time on this impromptu show. Brandon, thank you for joining us tonight. I was just right before. I don't know if you can hear me or not. If you can hear me, give me a thumbs up.
I
But
can hear you.
I was just thank you for joining us. I was just telling the online audience if Christopher can remember the last time we were in Palm Springs and what happened at the one at losing his favorite toy. Now Christopher was like 3 years old. You were a lot older than he was. So Christopher said the only thing that he remembers is he was in the pool. But that wasn't where he lost the toy.
You're talking about the Megatron?
Oh, right away.
The Megatron
I remember.
to our online audience, a Megatron is a toy. It's a Transformer toy. And we had just
No,
bought it.
déjala abierta. Gracias.
Brandon, Christopher, you lost the toy at Pizza Hut. We went to get pizza, and you left it in between the seats. I went back like 3 or 4 years later to try to find it because I really liked that toy because those toys are even expensive back in those days.
I know.
So, like, even if we go back tomorrow to Palm Springs to have a good time, if we go to Pizza Hut, I'm still gonna always remember the time that you lost that toy.
No.
That was the last day I gained consciousness. It's pretty scary.
So, Brandon, I know you're at work. Brandon's at work. He's super busy tonight, and this is again, this is a special show, quite a very impromptu show.
Yep.
I know that today is Christopher's 20th birthday, and I've already given like a big speech on it, but I think it's very special because I think it's a milestone show. I gave a recap a little bit earlier where I remember my in my when my cousin Daphne turned 20, she told my grandmother who raised me in 1910. Joey, you actually stood on her porch a couple of years ago, and my cousin said that I scored. I scored, and it was a big deal. And a score means 20. So Christopher has scored today, and so that's what the first today. Even though in the U.S. he cannot legally buy alcohol yet, but in other parts of the world, he is totally legit.
That's wonderful. Well, thank you for joining. Thank
So,
you for
brother,
joining while you're at work.
but it's a very special show. But you know what? Let me step aside for a second, Christopher, and I want to see what Brandon's got going on because see, Brandon, as I want our audience to understand that without giving out too much personal information, that Brandon has recently moved back down to California, and he's working in a very prestigious position. As you can see, he's all donned up with the PPE, the helmet, the lights, and the vest, and everything. So, from moving from Northern California. The other thing is, Brandon made me a grandfather.
Yay!
Coming soon.
Very soon. So, I want our online audience to give a shout out, drop some comments in the chat section after you see this replay. So, it's a special, very special time for both Bradford siblings, Christopher and Brandon. Some special things are coming
Yay.
in 2024.
Very exciting.
And so my question is, we asked Christopher how he felt about being 20. How do you feel about being a dad? This is very important now. Listen, audience.
I'm excited. I'm ready. We have about 4 weeks left, I think, and just waiting for little Joshua to start showing his signs that he's on his way.
That's a beautiful thing. That's a beautiful thing. And like I said, you are just too cool for school. Me, I would be like super, super, super nervous. You are so cool. And the other thing that I want to let everyone know is, Swanee and I we've had to make some pivots here and there, but hopefully, God willing, Swanee will be able to pull up in July as well. Hopefully, let's keep our fingers crossed. Pull up in July without getting into too much, politics regarding it. but we
Yeah.
hope that we can make that happen fairly quick
Yeah,
as
yeah.
well. And so I know. So with that being said, again, guys, fellas, the Bradford boys, I want to know that let you know that I'm very proud of you and I'm very proud of the accomplishments. Maybe I shouldn't use the word proud because proud is kind of like I am very I am very motivated, influenced, and inspired by your accomplishments.
Wow.
Thank you.
Pride is is sort of a not a, is an ungrateful word. So I use the word I'm inspired by your accomplishments because you're inspiring me. I think that's suitable. Um, Swanee, I know I've been doing a lot of talking. Is there anything that you want to say while we have these men on the line? Because I know they have.
Well, I'm inspired as well, just to see this beautiful family, and I hope to get to see you soon, guys. Really.
Yeah, no, I'm excited.
And on a side note, I've always told you guys that if you guys were able to come to Israel, you guys look very Israeli. By the way,
Yeah.
you,
Well, we all look the same. At the end, we all look the same.
you would fit,
Yes,
you
I'll
would
take it.
fit, you guys would fit right in. You would fit right in. So, Brandon, tell me, what is it that you do in your new position? Because you look
Um,
very official.
this is like a very entry level like managerial position. So
Okay.
I just pretty much, me as a shop foreman, uh, I pretty much just delegate jobs, make sure my guys are working, make sure everything gets done by the end of the night. Um,
Okay.
that's it. Send out an email to my boss saying what we got done and what needs to be done, and that's pretty much it.
Now, were you
So
just speaking Spanish a couple of minutes ago?
yeah, one of my guys, he's leaving early tonight, so he was just asking me if I needed anything else, and that he's taking off.
Brandon is a Spanish speaker. Actually, Brandon, just as a side note, it's probably it's probably his first language because when he was a baby, all he spoke was Spanish, and I could not comprehend anything that he was saying. It was all in Spanish. And on another side note, when Christopher was a baby, I could not understand anything that he was saying, but only Brandon could understand it. So,
Language. It's
so,
a language.
so that just kind of
So,
shows you that just
yeah.
shows you how just like how old I am. I'm just out of the loop all the way around. But
Yeah.
Christopher, guys, I'm not gonna hold you up too long because me, I have a tendency to just steal the show. Um, Swanee and I, we're going to keep this broadcast going on some other subjects that are near and dear to us. So we
Yeah.
won't hold you up very long, but I want to thank you so much.
Thank you.
YouTube
Yeah.
will see this. This will stay online. Joey, I call Brandon Joey, and the reason why I call Brandon Joey is my thing. But Christopher, let's see if Christopher can. Why do I call your brother Joey?
Because he looks like a kangaroo.
He used to bounce like a kangaroo as a kid. So only family knows
So
that.
fun.
So I'm gonna let you guys go, and I want to thank you so much, Christopher and Brendan, for checking in with us today as our special guest. I am way beside myself, and I will try to be ready for you tomorrow morning so you can take your old man father out to the desert and get him and give him some excitement, and then maybe I can just feed you guys
Yeah.
some good food later. So
Take,
I want to
take
say
care of him tomorrow.
thank you so much, guys, and this is a very special moment for us. This will always live
Mm,
on YouTube, and I want to say thank you so much for checking in.
Yeah, I got
Well,
you.
thanks for
Thank you.
having us.
I was happy to see you guys.
I'll
Yeah.
see you guys in a few
Thank you.
hours. Okay?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
All right.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Have a good night or good day, Swanee.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's starting my
Have a
day.
good night.
A good
Yeah.
shift.
All right, good
Bye.
night.
Bye,
Yeah.
Good
Chris.
night.
I'll
Happy
talk to you guys
birthday.
later. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
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 So thank you
That
so
was so
much
nice
for.
to see the two of them together. That
I
was
want to
really
say
nice.
thank you so much for joining me. And
Yes. I was
so it
surprised that Joey was at work. I didn't expect that.
was a special day. A special day.
Yeah, it is.
I want to transition just a little bit, not to again, and being on live streams, we have to be very conscious of and protective of our families and loved ones. But this week was a very um, emotional week for you as well. I won't bring up the subject unless you want to bring up the subject, but you've had some transition, bit of transition to happen in your life as well that we did not
Yeah.
talk about. Is that something you want
No,
to
it's
share
okay to
on?
talk about it. It's not. There's nothing. There's no secret over. I mean, I have also order children, and one of them just graduated and is going off um, to America actually for 2 months.
Salute.
Uh, Sorry.
Salute. We
Yeah,
salute.
yeah, yeah,
We salute our soldiers and we salute our loved ones.
yeah, yeah, yeah. He's going to enroll in the army as well. In August. So a lot of changes.
How do you feel?
Uh, and it
Talk
feels
to us.
like when you have your first kid usually that leaves the house, you kind of like, right now I'm still, I guess, in denial. I don't really know how it's going to feel because it didn't happen yet, but it's literally within maybe 2 months it's gonna be like my reality. So right now I'm taking it well. I don't know how it's gonna be in 2 months, but I just I wish him the best, and that he should go on and find his path, the one that's right for him.
I agree with you 100%.
Yeah,
This
yeah,
has
yeah,
definitely been a week of transition for many of us. I think I talked to you earlier this week and I said, babe, this week is going to be our week, and I really feel that way even to today.
yeah,
So many changes have happened and occurred this week, and shout out to
yeah,
our young adults that are venturing out into the world, whether it be in their career, whether it be in marriage,
yeah,
childbirth, or whether it be in serving countries. To this week has been a very profound week. Um, the other thing I wanted to express to you is there's a lot of going. Again, this is a very
yeah,
impromptu show, so our audience can kind of expect the unexpected because it's a very unscripted show. But I know that there's been a lot of dialogue in the media lately regarding events in the Middle East. I won't talk to that, but I do want to talk to regarding an interview that I saw earlier today on YouTube. I will not name the YouTube the content
podcaster.
creator. Yeah, I will not name that, but one of the content creators was kind of indicating that they had the opportunity to visit Jordan recently, and I've never been to Jordan. I know people from Jordan because I do work in higher ed, and I do know people that are from Jordan. But most importantly, um, I'm in a very I am in a relationship wise, I'm heavily embedded in the Israeli culture because I'm involved with an Israeli significant other, a woman, which is you, and
uh,
it's right across
it's
the pond.
just French Israeli. I'm not
French Israeli,
entirely Israeli.
right? But you and I visited the Dead Sea, and I can look across the waters and I can see Jordan. So and again, without mentioning any content creators' names, it was something. The takeaway that I got was it was almost like saying that the Middle East, or certain regions of the Middle East were not as hospitable. I have to look, so I'll leave it at that. But I will say that all my all my experiences in visiting Israel, being a land from across the pond, have been all positive. I felt that Israel was my home. I've always been treated with nothing but respect and honor and good favor in the land of Israel. I love Israel. I love the people of Israel, and though it's being
Thank you.
though it is a land across the pond from Jordan, what you might think about Jordan, well, okay, that's your take on it. But just a few meters away is Israel, and I'm treated, very, very well. So I don't want anyone to ever get the misconception that the Middle East is not friendly. The Middle East is friendly,
Yeah,
and
the Middle
I can
East.
attest to that.
I mean, I think that we shouldn't look at the Middle East as the Middle East as a one way, one vision. I think in the Middle East there's several countries. And every country has their own culture. So if in Jordan it's this way, then maybe in Egypt it's going to be another way, or in Israel or another place.
Right,
So
you're correct. You're correct. But I want our audience to understand that's just one person's perspective.
that as well.
It is
Yeah,
all the way. It is all
that's
about how
what
you
there.
actually portray yourself and how you
Yeah.
integrate with the culture. Again, I can look across the water and see Jordan, and I don't see anything. I've never been there, but we're only talking a few meters away. So, and I know people from Jordan. So again, I think that there's
Mhm.
one person's perspective, but I did take it away of sorts because I just think that it's how you interact and how you approach and how you assimilate to that environment that you're in. Again, I've never had nothing but positive encounters in the Middle East. Period. So,
Right.
uh, no, but
What have you?
and the reason why
Where
I'm
have
mentioning it right now
you?
because it did touch me in a certain way.
Mm, where have you been in the Middle East apart from Israel?
All right, that's a very good question. Well, back in the late '80s, early '90s, I was actually had the opportunity to be a part of Operation Desert Storm, Desert Shield, um, on my second tour of the Middle East while in the military. So I was a part of Desert Shield, Desert Storm. Before that, it was just on a regular tour, and I had the opportunity to visit several Middle Eastern regions, specifically Bahrain,
Mhm.
Dubai, Abu Dhabi, and areas like that.
Yeah,
And I remember very vividly walking through the malls of Bahrain and areas of I think it called the AUE, the Arab Emirates.
yeah. United
AU,
Emirates.
yeah, the Emirates. This that whole area of Bahrain and Dubai,
Yeah.
heavily Muslim, heavily influenced by the Islamic culture. And I remember walking through the malls and being approached as a service member, and remember um, interacting with the people there, and they said that they had nothing but respect for Americans, and a few of the people that we talked to would say that said that they had nothing but respect and love for
Mhm.
us, and if we were living over there, we would be treated like royalty. So, uh, and
Yeah.
that was my very first experience in the Middle East in 1989, 1990, and 1991.
Mm. It was a different time then. Yes, that as well. It was
But
a different
cultures
time.
have not changed. But cultures do not change.
Yeah, yeah.
Politics,
But
politics change, but cultures do
politics
not.
does. Politics change everything,
Yeah.
even people's opinions. I have to say.
Wow. But still a positive, from my experience. So,
Mm.
um, I just wanted to express that because it was on my mind. It was on my mind, and I don't respond to a lot of YouTube dialogue and comments and so forth, but I wanted to put that in my own podcast, my own broadcast, to say that
Yes.
there are other opinions regarding such comments that may be made. Again, without mentioning any names.
Absolutely. I mean, I'm sure that if people from Jordan maybe would, watch, his podcast, they would say, it's nothing like that. Maybe he felt, um, he was sent me, as a tourist,
Right.
and I don't know, for some individuals maybe it's like an opportunity, but it's not everyone like that, I'm sure. And
Also, let me add. Please let me add. Um, the- Regarding security and bag checks. Security and bag checks when traveling international, and we can talk about some international travels because I've visited you several times. In my experience, traveling international have been the most seamless and effortless experiences for me. Now, have my bags been checked? Yes. The customer service aspect with checking your bags is comparable and or on par with any other area of the world. You're not specifically targeted by the color of your skin. You're not specifically targeted
no.
by your ethnicity or your nationalism. You're
Mm.
not. It is random, completely random. And I have, in my travels from here to Israel, and Israel, make no mistake about it, is the most secure, has the most secure security anywhere in the world. So if you can go from the U.S. to Israel and go through all those security checkpoints, you're golden. That's the gold standard. So
Mm.
I've gone through the securities. I've gone through the security. I've gone through Israeli security, and I've never had any problems. The security checks that you go through are not are not specific to you. They're
No,
just random checks.
no,
So
there's
don't
for
put
everybody. It
the
doesn't
random.
stop.
They
It
do not.
doesn't stop at the airport. Security in Israel doesn't stop at the airport. It basically anywhere you go in Israel. So it can be a mall, it can be an official, a government office, a school, um, anywhere really. There is a guard, and you have to show your bag. You have to open your bag and they check your bag so that you can go in.
And
This
that's
is like
living that's living in Israel.
everybody goes through that.
That's living in Israel. And if you're traveling to Israel, it is just the same, but it's not. You're not targeted due to your ethnicity,
No,
background like that.
not
It's just
at
a
all.
random thing.
No,
It
I've
is
had to give
here,
my back many times. There's no.
right? So I don't.
It's
So
the norm. It's the norm here. It's like
so we'll leave our we will leave our followers or content watchers to let them know that if you do choose to come to Israel. You'll have a great time. And if you want to come to Israel as a tourist, come to Israel. You're gonna have a great
yes,
time. Don't
yes,
worry
that's
about what's
true.
happening in the media. Don't worry about what's happening, what you see on the media. You are going to have the best food. You're going to have the best sightseeing. You're going to have the best experience with the locals and interacting with the locals. You're going to have the best time ever. So don't worry about what's happening. You're going to be safe and secure. Matter of fact, I can't wait to hop a plane to go back. So
Well, yes, on different times maybe I do have to add that. And different times, yes. Don't worry about the media and all this. But if you do come now, then yes, there are some security checks that you would have to do while you're here. Some places that it might not be the time right now to go. That's the reality of it all. At the moment right now, we hope that it's going to end at some point and we can go wherever we want. But in the meantime, there's a lot of places to see still in Israel. Just to be aware of that,
it's
so
a
that
beautiful place.
everybody knows
It's, a
that
beautiful,
it's not like.
it's the epicenter of the world. People are great. People are friendly, and I love it. So, on that note, this was a very, very, very impromptu podcast. I'm glad we did it,
Very
and
genuine.
we would do more, we would do more of these. I'm sorry if I talk too much, but I want our
Not a,
audience to know that I love you guys tremendously. We're trying to build our channel. We're trying to build our brand. Swancentric Media is how you identify us. We have a logo. The logo was there was a lot of thought that was put into the logo. We can do a whole show on that. and we're looking to build our. We are a unique couple. We are unique, and but we're here to help anyone
Very.
else that may be thinking about, well, how do we deal with these long distance situations? Well, we're 2 years deep into it, and we have no intention of turning around. We love our relationship. We like the people that we interact with. We love our families, and we're here to help people that
Yeah.
may have that may want help or just may be inquisitive about you know going
Yeah.
more forward with
It's good that you
long
said,
distance
you know,
situations.
yeah, it's good to talk about family because I think, we do have family that support us and we
Yeah.
do have people that are, just happy for us, And even though sometimes there are obstacles, because, well, certain situations like
The
finding a
war.
ticket and the war exactly. And what does it mean? The war is finding, the right time and the right ticket, and there's so much going on. Even with work, we both have work responsibilities, and sometimes we have to push off the time that we're going to get together. But in any case, we're still going strong.
Going
So
strong.
that's
That's
what
the
matters.
end. Keep
Yeah,
your eye on the prize. Keep your eye on the end game,
yeah.
and you will prevail. On that note, I think we've gone. I don't know how long we've gone. I think that
That's okay.
no, according to my clock, we may be right at about 40 minutes, which is good. So, guys, thank you so much. Again, we want to put
Thank
out
you.
we first of all, before we go, I want to apologize for not putting out content more often. We have to continue to nurture our brand, nurture our content, and nurture our online audience, which we will do.
Absolutely, absolutely. We'll do some more impromptu shows
And post
and posts
and
and short.
comment and like our post, like and subscribe.
Yeah,
We're babies at this. We're new at this. We're babies, but we know that the end game is content creation is something that we both enjoy. So help us. Thank you
okay.
everyone for
Thank you so
your
much.
time. We're gonna close it out. And Swanee, thank you so much for taking the time to do this impromptu show with me.
Thank you. Yep. Thanks
I
to
am Mike
you.
B. This is Swanee T, and we're signing off. Have a great weekend, everyone.
Have a great weekend. Bye.
Bye.